We live in the valley. We've got the city council positions are really important. We've got some just horrific, terrible people in there right now. It's really important to fill these positions. So if we can get out and help them in any way, or tell your neighbors about them, or whatever, certainly these are two men that should be voted for. Of course, we have a list of other names too. If you, oops, JBS is not supposed to endorse any candidates. Oh well.
Amazing.
What are they going to do? Maybe fire me? Right? So, anyway, on that topic, in the future here, you're going to have to find a new leader. I've never, if you've noticed with me, I've never called myself a leader. I've never used the word, it's my group. I've never said it's my anything. It's always been ours, right? It's always been our group. So, as a collective now, well, I guess as a collective, let's start this thing off, right? Can I get an invocation, please, from JC? Will you help me with that?
Hi, if you all bow your heads. Lord Jesus, we live obviously in a very confusing time, an erratic time. Words being said, where our government is speaking from the federal level, where our state government and even our city government. Confusion and lies, but Lord Jesus, you are faithful, you are true. And our trust must be in you, Father. Make us warriors that we might stand our ground and continue to trust in you. In your sweet holy name, amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Okay, now we need to have a pledge of allegiance. Steve, would you please come up here for me?
Right there.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, now I guess I can get back to what I started on, and I'm sorry for leading right into that. So, as you know, there's been a little bit of change in the local makeup of JBS around here. Caleb has left, and he's working with another organization. Significant pay raise, I heard, so that's good. And he's doing great there. But I was called in last Wednesday, though, for a meeting with Wayne Morrow, who's the vice president of JBS, with Rich Laudenbach, who's kind of the big shot over in Port Wayne, lines up a lot of the speaker meetings and stuff like that, with Tom Munn, who's the Boise area regional coordinator, and with Mike Ulrich, who used to be the leader of this group here. Mike was here one night and showed up one night. We were having a meeting, and I thought he was going to run the meeting, but then he left on me, didn't give me any forewarning, and ran out of here. And I ended up having to run a meeting with no, I wasn't prepared at all, okay? So I just kind of got up here, and I was a little bit disappointed that he left me high like that. Evidently, I went to this meeting, and they informed me that maybe, even though they've never attended any meetings that we've had here, kind of informed me that they aren't happy with how meetings are being directed. They're happy that I was, in the summertime, showing up with shorts, and they sent a Hawaiian shirt. Shit, I don't even own a Hawaiian shirt, but now I really have to go buy one.
I can loan you one.
I need to borrow a Hawaiian shirt. I just about showed up. You guys ever seen that movie, What About Bob?
Yeah.
Okay, don't hassle me, I'm local. I damn near wore that tonight, but I thought, no, I'm gonna try to keep it classy.
Well, who's the tattletale?
I don't know who, I don't even think there is a tattletale. I think, to tell you the truth, what happened is Mike Ulrich doesn't like meeting in bars. And I think that he had a problem with meeting in bars. And
He's an alcoholic.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, he has, and so I don't think he likes, but our group got to the point where, like, when I first met, we were meeting at Sherry's, and we went from, well, the first week, okay, I'll just let you know, the first week, actually, no, the first 10 days I was involved, I brought Caleb 5 new members, okay? And then within the first month, we went for a drive with John Selk. I don't know if you guys have heard of John Selk. Wonderful man, just retired from JBS. But anyway, we went over and we took a drive over to Wenatchee. And I signed up enough members. We signed up a new chapter over in Wenatchee too. I think all total, I brought in like 30 members of this group over here. In our region, I would say. And I'm not trying to brag on that or anything, but I'm just saying, I think that's why Caleb approached me and said, hey, would you please consider being an assistant chapter leader, because you're starting to bring in a lot of people. Let's face it, the group's getting too big. We outgrew the Sherry's. As soon as this place opened, boom, we've got wonderful people here. The Fentons had opened up their business ahead of time. It was just like a match made in heaven. It's like God just said, hey, boom, here, these are the people you should be working with. You should be supporting these people that have the cojones to actually stand up for themselves, right? So that's why we started meeting here. I think maybe, I don't know, Caleb didn't reach out to Mike Ulrich, didn't ask for his okay or something. I don't know. That's what Mike's claiming, but I don't know if that's really what happened. But Mike ran out of here. He's more than happy now that Caleb's not here. He's more than happy to take the group back over again. But he wants to move the group to the north side, and it's maybe going to be at a Grange Hall or something. Which so I don't know. He just bring a pack of sack lunch or something for dinner too, and maybe bring along a 6-pack of beer with you. I don't know. So I don't know what's going to happen there. I know that they did officially ask me to leave, but I'm just going to leave because they gave me enough indications that they didn't really want me around. I've got some wonderful people in my life that give me guidance and stuff. People I really respect, and they kind of suggest I should just come here and just say, hey, it wasn't a good fit, so I'm out of here. And maybe I should have handled it that way, but I just figured I've been honest with you folks enough. I just want to let you know what they kind of told me. I know that I wasn't really getting a lot of love and respect for what had happened here for the last 2 years since I've been here. I wasn't really feeling a lot of appreciation, so I think it's probably just best that I move on. Whether or not I stay involved with JBS, I mean, JBS has been a part of my life. My parents joined JBS in 1963. I was born in '64, so I mean, Art Thompson, our former president, some of my earliest memories are running around his house with the maze that he had of filing cabinets in his basement. The guy must have had 200 filing cabinets. As a 3 or 4-year-old, hey, that's some pretty fun shit. I mean, you can hide around all over and have all kinds of fun, right? So, I mean, I remember using the old crank mimeograph machines. We were doing that type of stuff to send letters off to representatives and senators and stuff at that time. So JBS has been a part of my life. I don't want to do anything destructive to it. It's not my goal here. I just, I feel that, it's just best that I just resign my position up here. And so it means, you folks are going to have to find someone else to run the position, to run this place here. I think this is a wonderful location. It's a great place. We can all have drinks. We can all have a nice, of course, a wonderful meal. The service is great. Tip your wages as well, too, because they work hard for us here. We've got wonderful people, the Fentons, who, of course, have the cojones to stick up and stand up before the rest of us. They sacrificed a lot more than what any of us have, at least that I have. I didn't put a business on the line like they did. I didn't put my livelihood on the line like they had. And I think that's honorable. That deserves our respect and our support, Not only on a business level, but also, of course, voting too. You know, we know what type of people they are in there too. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna have to try to find someone to take my place up here for them. You know, I don't want to see us lose this location. I don't want to hurt the organization, but they kind of basically asked me in so many words to leave. You know, I guess they don't like. So there's a few things to know too. So don't wear shorts up here, and don't wear. If you're going to be up here in front in a leadership position, don't wear a flowered shirt either, even though you don't wear a clean one. So anyway, just a few things. You know, Caleb's supposed to show up here in a bit, but I know he's got a soccer game or something like that he's going to first. So we'll see if he shows up. I know that we have a bunch of different. I guess I should add this too. So here's the other things they told me too. They told me as a leader, and this is one of the big decisions, the big deciding factors for me. Told me as a leader they didn't want me to be involved in any protest, and they want me involved in any level. Didn't want me even showing up at one because finger could be pointed at me saying he's the leader for JBS, what they've got a chapter, blah blah blah. So. Yeah, I thought that was a little bit much, and I thought, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. I think I want to stand instead. So that's
our First Amendment, right?
Right, and you know, it's funny thing too is something even came up about the billboards, and I go, oh shit, that's real funny. I remember us doing billboards in King County along I-5 back in '68 and '69. I remember Mom and Dad taking taking a collection for billboards along I-5 back in the '60s and early '70s. You know, so oh no, we didn't mean that. Okay, all right. So anyway, that's where it stands, folks. You know, do you have any suggestions? You know anyone that may want to take the position?
Can we contact them and tell them that we don't appreciate them squelching our First Amendment rights?
You can do whatever you want, really. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to tell you can't do that. I mean, certainly, I get a hold of people. I mean, I'm the guy that goes on Facebook and raises hell, just like a lot of you do. Oh, this guy. With Southwest Airlines, you know, you get on their page and you say, hey, good job, way to go, guys. You know, thanks for, And then, of course, you got to give the support to employees that have the companies that stand up too, right? So, another thing too, I don't think they're real, even though they kind of say that they're into it in the bulletin, they really aren't too fond of us working with local groups. And we have some great local groups going on here that I think we do need support. One of them is Aaron Kranz has a group and it's all about prepping, and her and that group, man, these are some of the younger up and comers that we really need to keep an eye on. We got Matt Dean here and his wife. I mean, these two do so much to help Caleb out with a lot of his events, a lot of protests and stuff that are going on around here locally. Once again, people we need to support, keep our eyes on, and help out as we can. So anyway, I don't know. I guess that's it, huh? I guess if I was... Let's have a drink, yeah.
Brian?
Yes, Casey.
Brian, you have done a wonderful job, okay, just so you know. Somebody that's been in management and sales for 40 years. Represented JBS very well. Okay, so that's their loss. Okay, just like it was with Caleb. It's their loss. Okay, 400% increase. Number one in the country.
Ever in that history.
In the history. Right. So they lost.
And we were all a part of that.
Yes, exactly.
We were all a part of that.
Right. What's that? Oh, echo? Okay, sorry.
Can't hear you.
Now you can hear me? Okay. Anyway, one thing, there's a sign up on the chalkboard out when you come in the door. There's another rally that's happening this Friday at City Hall, just to let everybody know. There's signs right there. And also for you to know, because I'm Caleb's dad, he went out to Mike, offered him a lot. And Mike never liked Caleb and never liked him as a representative of JBS. He felt he ran things. Well, just to set the record straight on that. Where'd you go, Brian? There you go. Anyway, I've been here, I've watched this, and I've seen it grow. I've seen Brian step up, and he's a great guy. And I would walk with you anywhere.
JC, Mike?
Thank you. Thanks, JC, likewise. And I'm not up here now to get accolades by any means, because once again, this was never about me, it was always about us. In fact, I think I told you all, if I ever started saying me or my group, pull me off the side and slap me upside the head, right? Well, the guy that is going to run the north side meetings, he's going to talk about himself a lot. You know, so you're going to have a choice between, they wanted Mike Ulrich and I to split up the group, and they wanted me to choose out, okay, let's choose who's going to go where. And I said, I look right at Wayne Moore, Vice President of JBS, I go, are you kidding me? And this time of day, with these mandates that are coming out on us, where we're being not given any choice on anything, and you're going to take JBS members and you're going to make their decision on them where they're going to go to the meeting. Ain't gonna happen. And so I said, you can make all these decisions you want, but I said, well, that's another thing I said that was kind of mean to Mike. I said, Mike, put your money where your mouth is. Let's see how many people go to your meetings. Let's see how many stay down here. I'm walking away because I have to. I was so upset Wednesday. I called a couple of close friends, and I talked to you guys, and I've calmed down a lot since then. I was pretty upset at the time, and at the time I just about told them on Wednesday that, hey, I'm just done. Just done. But no, I owe it to you folks. I love you guys. It's been fun while it lasted, but it's time for me to go. And it wasn't by my choice entirely.
It's time for JBS to go.
But it was.
You'll be the new leader at Understanding the Threat.
I'll be a new leader there. Yeah. And some other group that will appreciate what happens, because I guess.
Meetings like this?
Yes.
I guess the biggest thing was the total disrespect for my friend and the growth that we have in this area, and for all of us. Wayne Morrow telling me that it doesn't really matter how many we lose. I was just like, wow.
I guess we'll see, huh?
And I hate.
JBS is.
I love this organization. Like I said, I've loved it, I've lived it, and I've been around it all my whole life, and that's why I was really kicked in the nuts on last Wednesday. It was like, I think that I've had friends of mine that have told me you're one of the four most loyal people I've ever known towards JBS, and I have. Like how many times you told me about some of the things you've seen in JBS, and how many times did I tell you, no, Doug,
This is not the first time they've done this.
So anyway, if we're going to keep this thing going, though, I think there's so much good that JBS does do. I think that there's some stuff on a national level I think that's wonderful. I can't believe that. Well, I guess I can kind of understand why they're trying to direct people away from local level, even though their bulletin tells people we should focus on the local level. I guess they can't be involved with all the local level stuff, what's going on in every neighborhood, everywhere. That's ridiculous to think that they can keep that scope. It's tough enough for them to keep track of doing everything on the state level, I guess. But there's I think that there's so many good local groups. We've got Gina over here that's working with the anti-fluoride stuff, keeping fluoride out of our water in Spokane, doing everything she can. And we got Jill over here that's working with Aaron's group, that's, working on preppings, and there's a lot of good prepping stuff that's going on there, right, Steve? There's a lot of really good stuff, and I need to get more involved. So you're gonna see me, start seeing at those meetings more? Yeah, Steve, like that? Hell, I just need to get rid of this. I'm fucking done.
You like a drink?
Yeah, I
Yeah, go ahead.
I do encourage people to get involved with that preppers group, Aaron's group. The next meeting is, let me see. It'd be more. I had it, but I hate phones.
As bad as I do.
I don't know if I
Is there in here?
I don't think she had one scheduled yet. So I just-
Yeah, we do.
Okay, because I just asked her the other day.
She didn't, did she have one scheduled?
Okay, there's a radio class coming up on the 16th, and it's at 3 o'clock, and it's in LaBelle B. And the monthly meeting is at 6 o'clock, and that's on the 20th. And again, that's at LaBelle B.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that's a great opportunity. It's a great place to meet like-minded people, to get involved, and I think they do. I think they're going in the direction that makes more sense because it's more on the local level.
And it's not extreme prepping. It's more community.
Right.
Yeah.
Like.
Right. I mean, if you ask my opinion, which you're not, but you're going to get anyway, the national level is done. If you think we're going to change this ship, we're not. So we need to focus on the local level, and that's what this group does. It helps you meet people in your neighborhood and get involved with things that you can do, you can change. So it's a great group. So I really encourage you to go over there and get involved. So no rest for the wicked, buddy.
I know, I see that. Yeah, actually, that group, yeah, I've been following, because I'm on the Telegram group too, so I've been watching what you folks have been up to. Like the Bail Phone radios, okay? I mean, they're a bitch good program, right? I got like a dozen of those stupid things in my house I haven't programmed yet myself, And I'm supposed to get over to Jeff's and have Jeff help me do it, I know, right? So, I mean, and they're doing this stuff in class and they're pulling you all the way through it. They're teaching how to do canning right. They're teaching how to, Steve's on there telling people how to do fruit roll-up stuff, right? The fruit leather. I mean, and saying how simple it is. I mean, shit, there's lots of good stuff there. So these local groups are really important. Really keep it local. I mean, shit, I used to go to these guys' meetings and I get so much information from Cecily. Oh my God, you're wealth of information. And she prepares stuff so well. I mean, Rob, you freaking lucked out. Get her, okay? She's a wonderful woman. You know it. So they've got, there's lots of local stuff we can get involved with where we can learn how to do stuff because, number one, get tight with God now, okay? I mean, that's something I need to work on my own self. I'm not walking as tight a path as I used to, like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I got all these distractions going on, I got all these projects going on, and my walk is walked away from it, okay? So is it evident enough? The Buddha tyranny's on us and enough shit's happening. Is there any more evidence we need? We should probably get closer with God because, wow. Yes, Gina. Get on up here. Shit, I don't want this thing.
You've been trying to give it away for that hour.
Brian, thank you so much. You're a really nice man, and we all know that. Let's give him a hand. So I've been coming out for about 1.5 years, and I finally joined up after about 6 months. So now I'm really disappointed. Okay, very disappointed.
Me too.
So so perhaps somebody could clue us in, because I just sent my dues in again. Maybe I shouldn't have sent them in. Okay. I don't know how they're rehashing the organization. So I don't know who Morrow is, and I don't know where the Grange is, and I don't know that I want to drive up in the wintertime to a Grange, because, it's just like, I've turned into a city girl over my many years. So if somebody could clue us in about this, thank you.
Thanks. Oh, thank you so much. It's all like I think Benjamin Franklin said, we all hang together, we all hang separately, but we all do different things. Some people join the Army, some the Navy, some the Marines, some people make good sharpshooters, some make good hostages. We all have our role in this thing, but I just want to talk about the 2020 election analysis we had. How many people here went to that? Hey, Bob. Hey, John. I was hoping for 1,000 people there at the Greyhound track, but it really wasn't advertised as well as I would have liked. But it came together so quickly, we had to go ahead and have. So we probably had about, I think, 350 people there, but important people too. And this is a big thing. If we don't get this election thing figured out, it's the end of the republic. We're going to, at best, be a banana republic. Right. So actually, I think John is working on getting a video out here soon, and don't forget the other groups too. Northwest Grassroots to go to. It's good information, and it's just another part of this whole battle. But does anybody know who Seth Keshel is? Did anybody watch the things from South Dakota?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Seth Keshel, he spoke there for an hour. He's a Army intelligence captain, retired, but he's also a fantastic analyst. And he's an Army Ranger. He's part of what they call the PowerPoint Rangers. And anyway, he showed, through a preponderance of evidence, all the counties in Washington State, even Spokane County, there's 330,000 conservatively phantom votes that came out of nowhere. And also, he did Montana a few weeks ago. I was there. There's 45,000 phantom votes in Montana, and 15,000 mostly in Ada County in Idaho were phantom votes that came out from nowhere. So this election was rigged, this last one. I mean, through a preponderance of evidence, if not, beyond a shadow of a doubt almost. But so I've been trying to push this, and Dr. Doug Frank, he showed a national perspective that the entire thing was rigged too, just through regression analysis. It couldn't have happened that way. So I'm trying to get the other representatives to get involved in this, and the only other representative from Washington State who was there was my seatmate Bob McCaslin. I invited all of them, but they maybe all probably had other things to do. Same thing in North Idaho. I invited all the North Idaho representatives. There's 3 of them that made it there. So this has to grow. And
are they going to do that again?
What's that?
Are they going to do that again?
No, but it is going to be recorded so you can watch it. I don't think we'll ever get that much talent together again. It may never happen again if we don't get this fixed. While we still have a little bit of freedom left, we can do things like this. Pretty soon, if you're not vaccinated, they'll take away your driver's license.
Yeah, they already did that.
Go ahead.
So should we get this, once this video is available, we'll all share it on our social media?
Right. There's 2 things. You have the computers, it's like in my office, I have a laptop computer, and it's not hooked to the printer, but John fixed it up so I can hit print, and it prints, through the airwaves or whatever, however that communicates. The same thing happens with all these different voting machines. Does that be dial-up? Could be any of them. They all have Bluetooth capability. They're all communicating with each other back to these supercomputers that are in China or in our own country or Italy or wherever. And they have determined the outcome before it ever happens, before we even vote. And they shuffle votes around and they create votes. Also, for years now, decades, they have used the inactive voters list as a working capital list to fudge elections. So, this is all very, very interesting. The other part is contact your legislator, but you also How many of you guys are precinct committee officers here? Okay, there's a few of you. Try to run for precinct committee officer. This May filing date, just file for it, unless you've got a super good one. If you don't know who he is, you probably don't have a very super good one. But then you walk your precinct. The precinct probably takes, especially in an urban or suburban area, probably about 12 hours to walk the entire thing and go out and find out who your people are that live there, you know, Republican and Democrat, because this is a common cause issue. You know, it wasn't just Trump. The same thing happened to Bernie Sanders. The nomination was stolen from him in 2012 and 2016 the same way. Okay, so I mean, I didn't care to have Bernie as my president, but if he had won all the valid votes, he'd be my president. You know, that's just the way our system works. So the New World Order, that's one thing the Birch Society is right about. This goes way back. That you know, it's not just communists and Nazis, it's globalists that are trying to do this because they want a global system. And it's in their records for going back hundreds of years, and it's now coming down to fruition. I always thought this whole thing, I knew it would happen someday, but I thought it was way out in the future. It's happening so quickly now, it's mind-boggling. But the other thing you need to do, too, is tighten up the voter rolls. As Cecily, you know, says, there's a lot of voters out there that don't even exist. You know, go walk your precinct and see if that house is even there that's on the list of residents anymore. And the people are still living there, it's someone else. And that's what it's going to take. Is how many of you guys belong to Y or exercise? None of you? Well, you look in good shape to me. But you know, instead of being on that treadmill, walk around your neighborhood, get to know people. Because speaking about prepping, you know, I have friends all over the county. Well, it's hard if there's no gas around to go see them and trade goods that we have or barter or anything. But if you know the people in your precinct, maybe out by walking around, you'll meet 4 or 5 families that feel the same you do. It's a lot closer to band together like that with, you know, your bullets, your beef, your beans, and all the stuff you need to survive however long this takes. So, but anyway, it kind of gets back down to the vote. And in fact, the Republican caucus in Washington State, we were told, leave it alone. It's not a good thing to be behind, you know, the voting issue. And don't get behind the mandates either. It's not a good issue for us. Well, that's crap, you know. We elected to represent you people. I think Cecily, we had close to 7,000 emails on this, the mandates and everything. And if 7,000 people are doing that, must be 70,000 that probably feel the same way.
Or 100
like we do. And so many people are, you know, just like the founding fathers, you know, giving up their lives, their sacred honor, their families, and their homes. You know, so many people, especially in the healthcare business I've talked to, have quit rather than take the shot that they know is not good. And those are the real healthcare heroes, I think. You see all these advertisements, healthcare heroes. It's the people that stand for the truth that are healthcare heroes. So what's most important, we've got to have truth and we've got to have justice. So watch this video when it comes out. I think Casey's got part of it out. Casey Whalen with North Idaho Exposed. He's got a couple of things out, but stay tuned. But we need you guys to go to your legislatures and get involved, you know. And if you get thousands, you know, like I did, then they will, because, you know, you've got to look, you're representing those people, you're getting actually pretty well paid for it too. And it's not just to go out to the conferences and have cocktails with everybody and all that. It's representing you guys. And you should be making the tough decisions and taking the consequences for those decisions as long as you're following the truth. So I'll turn it over to Caleb now. Caleb, you want to come up here? And I know you're on the speakers list tonight.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter. Caleb always gives a good talk. I wish I could be more like Caleb and pronounce things and look as swell as he does in the suit.
What's that? I will say this. I love this man, and he's done a lot for the organization. He's done a lot for. He's always been a solid, loyal friend. He's always been there. And, Caleb, you're always going to end up on top, and you did this time too. You know, you've gone to another organization that appreciates you enough to pay you maybe a little bit, and appreciate what you've accomplished. You have to realize what you've done here for this region for JBS. You established the greatest growth in the history of the organization in one region. Enough to the point where they promoted you to a position of across this field, what, the west side of Mississippi, right?
No, just the,
Of Western regions. Oh, just 11 states. Just 11 states. Shit. Anyway, proud of you, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate that from Brian, and I appreciate that from Rob too. It's a nice compliment. Thank you. I'm not here to coach. I want you all to know that. And I'm not here to badmouth the John Birch Society, because I love the John Birch Society, and I actually encourage people to retain their membership in the John Birch Society. Because as an organization that educates the general public on our national origins, on the original intent, on the Constitution, you cannot find a better organization than the John Birch Society. So please, retain your membership. Keep getting the New American. Keep spreading the message, because we can't let this die off. Now, granted, I have moved on to another organization, and I want people to join that one as well. I want you to join both. I want you to be a part of both. I am, in a sense, I'm unleashed. I am feeling very aggressive these days, and that's a good place for me to be personally. I'm, as you all saw, I'm organizing a lot of rallies these days, and that last rally we had 5,000 people. 5,000 people. And showed up, and we had a fantastic event right after they canceled. The pig out in the park, all right? Government's really good at destroying fun. You ever notice that? Anything fun, they're like, nope, can't do that. All right, so we just proved to them that we don't need them. And I love showing government that we don't need them. I love putting government back in its proper, limited role.
Did they come out with all shut you guys, try to shut you down?
No, they did not. You know that how they came after me and said that they were going to sue me and everything? Well, I'm still standing. All right? They didn't find me or anything like that. And the police department was very supportive of what we did. And in fact, when I was talking with the police and I said, well, here's the route that I'd like to take for the rally, I said, I'm trying to choose a route that is disruptive without being excessively disruptive. All right, so I marched intentionally down more side streets. I stayed away from Stevens and Washington. I stayed away from Monroe and Lincoln, right? Because I wanted to make sure that emergency vehicles or whatnot could still travel through the city. That's why I picked that route. The police officer told me, hey, you be as disruptive as you want to be. Oh, okay. So this time, this Friday, how many of you all are aware that we have a rally this Friday? Yeah, I hope to see every single one of you there, because we need thousands out in the streets again. This time, we're shutting the city down. This time, it's 5 o'clock, and we're going to be marching through Monroe. Good. We're actually going to we're starting at City Hall, 5 o'clock at City Hall. We're going to have some worship music. And in fact, one of the things that has come out of this is I have really had a deep correction spiritually, all right, which has been a wonderful experience. Because I'm going to be honest with you all, I had actually put government before God. I was actually worshiping the Republic over the Lord. Okay? And we're going to go yell at them, because that sounds fun as well. And then we're going to go past Kathy McMorris Rogers' office and the police department, because, like I said, they are appreciating what we're doing. They reminded me that Ben Carson and all of the Republican leadership is actually going to be at the Davenport Grand at the exact same time. So I'm thinking we might, depending on our numbers, we might actually march around that building a couple times as well. Because the reality is this: I don't care about party, right? This republic is too precious for us to play partisan games. I don't care. You are either part of the solution or you need to leave. And that's where we're at right now. All right, we need to be aggressive in our tactics. And that's really what I'm doing. And right now, today, I actually filed a petition to recall Nadine Woodward.
Yes.
Okay? That's how serious we need to be about this. She has been terrible. She's been the most do-nothing mayor that I've seen in Spokane for quite some time.
She's such a rhino.
Since Condon.
She might be even worse than Condon. At least did some things. Have you seen Nadine do anything else except shop?
And suck up
No.
to the city council.
No.
All right? And she has the power. She has the power to tell Inslee, we're not doing that here. All right? So, yeah, we're going to try to recall her. Okay? We also are targeting Ben Wick, the mayor of Spokane Valley.
Yeah.
And we got a great candidate to go after him. Okay? We're also targeting Kevin Freeman. How many know who Kevin Freeman is? That's the mayor of Millwood, yeah. All right? And we got Matt Dean right here. Raise your hand again, Matt. Targeting him. Now, why are we going after Kevin Freeman and Ben Wick? Well, for one very important reason. They're both on the health board. How's the health board been voting these days?
Right.
Pretty bad, huh? All right, so I need you all to spread the message on that as well. We've got two great candidates that are both members of the Birch Society that are willing to go as, I mean, you've seen with the Fentons. Are they willing to take it as far as it needs to go? Yes, they are. And we need to support them. So let's get these guys in office. All right? And what's great about this, too, is having families that are running, because people can be fickle, they can forget, is they'll remember, I know I liked a dean, but I can't remember which dean it was. Well, we got two, Becky and Matt. All right? So we can get both of them in, or the Fentons. All right? I know I like the Fenton. I can't remember which one. You think it's unintentional that these signs look exactly the same?
No.
Yeah, that's intentional. All right, so that people can say, I know I like the Fenton. I don't remember which one, but I'm going to vote for him. All right, so we can enact real positive change going at the local level. Because how effective are all of you going to be when you target things at the national level? Even the state level. But can we be effective at the local level?
Hell yeah.
We can be. I'm not going to talk too much about UTT because I really don't want for people to think that I'm trying to poach JBS members. But I will say this. I'm the new National Director of Recruitment for Understanding the Threat. It's a really aggressive organization. We engage in tactics that some people may not be too thrilled with. They may not be comfortable with. But what I need you all to understand is we are in a state of war, and we need to start acting like it. All right? The days of just discussing the infiltration are over. The communists, the Marxists, the jihadists, they are operating in the open. That's how comfortable they are in these United States.
Senator Joe McCarthy told us about the infiltration in the 50s.
He did, yeah. So we need to stop talking about the infiltration. It's occurred. It's already here. We need to start going after it, and we need to start addressing it as the war. All right, so what UTT does is we actually train people. We train people in mapping out communists and jihadi networks. We train them in surveillance. Okay, is it okay for us to sit outside a coffee shop and actually photograph a city council member meeting with the local leader of Antifa? Is it okay to do that? Yes, it is. And is it okay to photograph their license plates and track that down and to see who they're meeting with next and actually map out these communist and jihadist networks? Is it okay to do something like that? Yes, it is. All right? We need to start taking the fight to them, and that's what we're doing here. That's what these rallies are engineered to do. That's what this recall is designed to do, is to let them know that they're on notice, to put them on that notice and say, we're coming at you. And if you're scared, then get out of our way. Because we're taking this back. Does Spokane belong to Christian patriots? Yes, it does. We're going to take it back. We're going to draw a line in the sand and say, hey, maybe you can have Seattle, maybe you can have Portland, but not here. This is ours. All right? So I wanted to thank you all. Hey, I loved being a part of JBS, and I loved what we were able to accomplish out here. JBS grew in ways that no one expected. We had we had thousands of people that became members of the John Birch Society. We had events that attracted thousands of people. It was incredible to see. I don't want that to die off. I want you to retain it. I want you to keep going with it. But I also want you to really get heavily invested in this fight. Because if we don't, our kids are never even going to know the freedoms that we enjoyed. All right. So, hey guys, thank you so much for honoring me. I appreciate it, you guys coming out. I know that some of this meeting might have been a little bit of a downer, but there's some real positive news as well, right? I mean, we're recalling America, right? That's great news. That's powerful. So, with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Brian. I do have some cards that I can hand out for anybody who's interested in what I'm doing now.
Thanks. No, I'm not going to do it. Thanks, Caleb, as always. Yeah, folks, I mean, so that's kind of where we stand. I mean, you know, in the future, I mean, right now, not in the future, like now, I think we all need to be prepping a lot more. I think we need to be, I mean, we know what's going on with the shipping lines and the supply lines and stuff. If you've been in construction or if you've been in any other business, my God, if you've even tried to just get nuts and bolts to build a hi-fi amplifier chassis or whatever, there's shortages and shit everywhere, you know. So prepping wise, okay, like I'm even buying extra shit that I mean, okay, you know, we've got UV air filters in our ultraviolet light air filters in our furnace system. Why not have 6 freaking bulbs around for that? You know, why not have 3 to 5 years worth of bulbs sitting around for it, right? Why not have? I mean, we can afford to do it now. Our money isn't worth shit. Excuse my language, but our money's gonna be worth shit here pretty soon. Okay, I mean, I'm trying to work that out. We're trying to work it out so that it collapses down. So please buy everything that you can afford to buy now. Have some stuff sitting around because, my God, and especially if you're the type of guy that can do some stuff, you know, that has some skills that can actually build something or do something. You know, don't get rid of those extra stuff. Think like my parents grew up during the Depression, okay? They didn't get rid of shit, man. We had stuff on that farm. We had old metal, you know, angle iron that was rusted that had been sitting there for 20 years, you know, but we didn't get rid of that shit because we could weld it up and make something out of it, okay? So that's the way to kind of start thinking now. You may have a little, okay, like I try to tell my wife, okay, we have a little bit of cluster around our house, okay, but I'm a little bit of a guy that can do anything, you know. So I mean, I do our own I do plumbing, electrical, that type of stuff on remodel work. I do, you know, I've got a record cleaning solution business I've had since the '90s. You know, it's just fucking crazy right now. Just crazy how much business I have with that, and then the CBD business too. I mean, I've got all kinds of these different ideas. If you're, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say is, folks, don't forget your basic skills and really hone in on that stuff. Don't get rid of stuff. Oh man, I've got those extra 2x4s sitting around or whatever, sitting out behind. We got to start not thinking that way. I mean, where we've had clutter in the past and we said, I got to get rid of that stuff. I got to clean my place up. I hate this clutter. You know, organize your clutter so it doesn't look so crappy, but have some of these extra supplies around. You know, don't be afraid to have, you know, 500 pounds of beans around or 500 pounds of rice around. I mean, we're going to have friends of ours. We're going to have, there's going to be some of us that don't have as much. And wouldn't it be nice to be able to later on when things are getting tight? I mean, because things are going to get tight, folks. Things are going to get tight. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to take over and say, oh shit, here's a 7-gallon bucket that has 25 pounds of beans in it, you know. I mean, here's a 12-pack full of tomato sauce, you know, and some spices, so you can make your own whatever, your own chili or your own beans or whatever, your own barbecue beans. I mean, we're gonna have to start looking at that kind of stuff. Okay, get tight with God, get tight with what you need. Canned meats and that kind of stuff. I mean, that's important stuff to get. You know, canned meats will last forever. You know, I'm looking at a food dehydrator. You know, do I do the food dehydrator, or do I do the same amount of money in whatever bullets? Do I do the same amount of money in bullets, or do I do the same amount of money in silver? You know, I mean, there's all kinds of different ways to look at this stuff. You need to have some stuff that's going to be around that you can trade for, you can swap for it. You know. Ammo is always going to be good, I think. You know, I mean, is the heart, you know, is I don't know, Doug, you tell me. Doug's one, but, you know, Doug and Steve, between you two, You two, the smartest guys I know about finance stuff. You know, do we store a bunch of silver around? Do I have $20,000 worth of silver? Do I have $20,000 worth of lead?
Well, don't
Or
tell us.
bullets? What's gonna be better? You know, I mean, so I'm gonna be diversified a little bit. I'm gonna have a little bit of both. This guy right now. So if anyone wants to buy ammunition or anything, Gary, and I know this is a big no-no, right? I mean, I don't know, Caleb, am I really screwing up here? Well, Caleb's talking to someone else. But anyway, this is the man we want to talk to if you want to have ammo, because he's like making a lot of it. I shouldn't say that, because shit, I was going to buy 2,000 rounds from him tomorrow.
Believe it or not, right now, I have just started getting bullet allotments that I ordered back in December of last year. Okay? Some of them I ordered in January. I'll just give you a round figure. I had about 125,000 rounds of bullets in January. I got 30,000 rounds of bullets. That's how far behind everything is. Primers, same thing. Primers, they were putting them out on the market, and it started a bidding war and wound up at over $1 a primer. That is ridiculous. It's absurd. I've never heard of anything like that. 2 to 3 cents, maybe 5 at tops. Right now, having problems getting primers at about 11 cents. And I'm just trying to give you an overall view of what we're going through as reloaders. If you think the factories are having problems, guess what? I'm just a drop in the ocean, okay? So whatever I can get, I'll take it, okay? Right now, I've got orders to fill about 30,000 rounds of just 9mm alone, okay? And I don't have the cases. So that's something else. If you guys want to start saving cases, bring it on, because I need it, okay? And as far as being able to buy new cases right now, you can forget it, because they're not there. If you can find some, who knows what kind of price you're going to pay for.
Once again, guys, get into the whole mindset of being like our parents during the Great Depression. You don't just throw brass away. You don't just keep it in the garbage. You
Don't
save
throw
the
brass
shit.
away. Oh my God, no. Please don't throw brass away. I don't care what it is, because
Someone want to say something.
it's all money in the bank, and you're eventually going to be able to use it. Okay? How some people do use it, that's neither here nor there. I take my reloading to a different level.
You have to keep it going long enough for me to go to the restaurant.
Anything. It doesn't matter what it is.
Okay.
Save the price. Right now, 22 ammo is going for about $100 a brick. That's 500 rounds. That's $10 for a 50-round box. My God, when I was a kid, we were complaining about paying 3 cents a box for a 50-round box of 22 cents. And now you're paying over $10 to $20.
Wasn't gas 23 cents a gallon?
So, yeah, don't throw anything away.
Right.
Save it, keep it. Because if you don't think we're not going into depression again, that's exactly the way I see it.
I remember gas at 28 cents.
Yeah.
I got in on the tail end of a depression where I'm just like, we had stuff stacked around all over the ranch. No, it's an eyesore. Really, when things got bad, guess what? You couldn't buy it downtown, you got it right there. And a welder comes in really handy. So, yeah, don't discard anything, save everything. You know Brian, you know who I am. Save it all, doesn't matter what it is. And now I figured out how a way to actually reload primers, used primers. And if you don't think that isn't teachers, try it out. But you can reload. So don't throw nothing away.
Wow. Okay, that's really cool to hear, because, you know, primers is a big problem right now.
Oh, it is.
I mean, I can't believe it, you know. I'm pissed off myself that I had the money to do it at the time too. And I had the opportunity to buy like 150,000 small and large pistol rounds for just as just a song and a dance, and I screwed up. You know, I had the money. I mean, that was like 3 years before all this.
Don't do it again.
No, I won't do it again. But so, folks, I mean, that's the thing. When you hear of a deal that comes up like this too, if it's real, okay, because there's a lot of times there's like guys right now saying, "Oh, I've got this deal. I could get the extra. I get the extra animal from CCI down in Lewiston or something like that." Okay, you know, 99 well, you got a better chance of catching COVID than that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just that type of stuff doesn't really happen all that often. So, and Gary and I were in on one of those where we thought, I mean, it all sounded legit. It all sounded legit.
I've been knowing guys down low. I was 40 ever since I was 14 years old. And right now, I can't get nothing.
So right now, you know, ammunition's low. I mean, there's going to be a lot of other things. I mean, okay, I'll give you another example. So one of my other businesses, I don't really work anymore. The only thing I really do for the construction company, and this is okay. So I started out in 1991 with a roofing company. Okay, once again, this is the most you're ever going to hear about me talk about myself, because I've always told myself I'm not going to be like my predecessor here and talk about myself so much that I bore you to tears talking about the 25 salesmen that I trained. You know, I mean, I want to be that guy, because damn, okay, how many times you hear that same effing story? But you know, getting back to it though, you know, there's been a lot of what did we talk about? I mean, got off on about that. Oh, construction. Yeah. So I have this. I worked with this guy for the last 30 years, and my other business has got to the point where I don't have to do that anymore. I mean, which is pretty nice for a 57-year-old guy that don't want to be like doing hard construction anymore. So, but we're doing this $100,000 remodel for these people, just a kitchen, which is crazy. Can you imagine $80,000? $80,000 on a kitchen. Can you imagine that? Oh my God. Oh my God. Crazy. But anyway, we're working on this, and he is like one of the top foremen out at URM. You know, URM over on Freya, right? The big warehouse that takes, you know, URM. They deliver all the food and stuff to the restaurants. They deliver to the grocery stores and shit like that. So, like a month ago, he says, right before Labor Day, he goes, I said, you know, he has this trailer, this fifth wheel trailer, like it's like 40 foot long. I said, hey, you're going to take your trailer out this weekend? No, URM just signed us up. They told us they're going to give us, instead of time and a half for overtime, they told us we can work 16-hour days, so we can work 8 hours overtime a day and double overtime. Well, what the hell for? Well, our warehouse is only at 70% right now. We've ordered in like all this extra stuff because we know that shortages are coming. So they got us working like crazy. We try to stock this thing up enough to where we don't have shortages here in this area. So, and of course, it makes sense for them because, of course, the more they have stock here, the more they can sell instead of sitting on their thumbs, you know, for an empty warehouse, right? So this shit is, it's coming, it's happening. You know, have the extra stuff around. I mean, it's happening. It's going to happen. Have every freezer that you have stocked. I mean, do what you can do to protect your families and yourselves and your friends. I mean, there's going to be some of your friends that won't be able to take care of themselves as well. You know, wouldn't it be nice to be able to have that extra, maybe you've got that extra 15-pound brisket, you can say, here, you've got 8 kids. Here's an 18-pound brisket, you know? I mean, that's going to feed them for a couple of days, you know? Wouldn't it be nice to be able to say, hey, here's a 25-pound sack of beans or whatever? I mean, wouldn't it be nice to have that just around our own security for our own selves? Or you know, canned goods or whatever. You know, so really focus on that, folks, because really, this is coming, whether we want it or not. They're trying to destroy, they're out to ruin us. They're out to ruin us. And that's why Caleb was here earlier. I think he's already left, right? Boom, he's gone? Wow, darn it. Okay. Anyway, you know, I mean, that's what he's talking about. That's one thing about JBS that Doug, you and I talked about before. You know, JBS is great, man. They give you a lot of information. And we get a hold of the representatives, but the representatives are already bought and paid for. I mean, we get so far with them, but, you know, are we making progress? I don't know. I mean, I always did it because that was the machine, man. That was the machine that JBS taught me before I cut teeth. That's what they taught me, so that's what we did. It's just what you do. That's just what you do. So I stuck with the system. I stuck with the system. People challenge me. I stick with the system. And what else helps? Stick with the system. You know, but is it really going anywhere? So maybe Caleb's new group, you know, is something I'll look at that way. You know, because maybe it'll be something that's actually doing something.
Just to throw this information at you, I just talked to a good friend of mine, and he doesn't like the longshoremen any better than I do, but he does work for them. Right now, setting off the west coast of Seattle, you can't see these boats. They're setting out far enough. There's over 64 grocery boats setting outside of Seattle that cannot get unloaded. That's just the grocery boats. That's not counting anything else. But they say there's a shortage. Now here's the other kicker. These boats that are setting out there all came in from LA because they've got so many stipulations down there, they can't get them unloaded there, but they don't have any room for them up here. Okay? So the other part of that is they have to truck it all the way from Seattle back to LA. And the truckers right now said, screw you, we're not going to do it. Thank God some of this is finally happening. Stick there, 46 years of driving truck, and I've never seen the trucking companies start hanging together the way they are. It took a longshoreman to do it, which I didn't think I'd ever admit to anything like that. But honest to God, I do not like the longshoremen. Never have, never will. They are so controlling, it's unreal. Right now, they're under the gun, and we got stuff setting outside of the west side there. You can't see them. You got to get in a helicopter or plane, fly over. Okay, it's going to rot. Okay, it's going to rot before they get it unloaded. So keep that in mind.
Doug, you've got a unique business. Would you like to come up here and talk a little bit about, you know, just the different things you deal with, right? Because, you know, so this is Doug Barton, everyone, and he's a member that's been with us for a short time. But anyway, Doug has. I'll let you explain your business.
Well, COVID pretty much killed one of my businesses. It's importing of cars out of Canada. And if you think it's crazy here, go to Canada because they're threatening to take away their driver's licenses. Somebody just said that earlier. They're threatening to take away their driver's license if they don't get vaccines. We're actually heading up tomorrow, so it's going to be an experience because I haven't been up there for a while to grab a couple of trucks.
You're going up to Canada?
Yeah. So we're going to get first-hand experience of what's going on up there. And I don't know if I'll be able to get in because I'm not vaccinated. I don't vaccinate. I'm a Christian.
Some people have stuff.
Well, no, I've got a passport. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. But, you know, I haven't really gotten involved. I mean, I know Rob. I met Rob before. Good friends with Brian. Great friends with Jacqueline Gallion. We probably all know Jacqueline. In fact, I just got over COVID. I don't know what I had. Right? I don't play the game. I didn't get tested. I had the flu or a cold. I don't know what I had. It wasn't the sickest I've been, but it was the longest I've been sick. In fact, you can still hear it in my voice a little bit. It's still in my lungs. So Jacqueline came over and she gave me her nebulizer and hydrogen peroxide. And we used chlorine dioxide. You will remember Trump getting his balls busted over bleach, right? That's what this is. It's chlorine dioxide. It's MM2, or I think MMS, I think it's called. Anyways, it smells like bleach when you drink it, but it really helped me. It helped me get better. So you all need to look into that. In fact, the FDA is trying to get rid of it right now because they know it works, it's cheap. So another story that's going on right now is up in Sandpoint. I have a friend that owns a pharmacy up there. He also owns a wellness center. He makes more money in his wellness center than he does his pharmacy because everybody up there understands they buy the vitamins, right? He's making like 50 grand a month in his wellness center. Anyways, he's been prescribing ivermectin and HCQ to people. Bonner County's is the lowest rate of COVID death in Idaho right now. It's because of this man. And the feds just went up there about a week ago to bust him, and they're messing with him. So Wheeler up there, great sheriff, and we all know the sheriffs have more power than anybody does in their county. I mean, Ozzy, obviously, we all know about Ozzy, right? I've received the 1 a.m. messages from Ozzy before. He doesn't like what you post, and he doesn't like you, and he gets drunk or whatever, and you get the 1 a.m. messages. But yeah, I've got many. Ozzy doesn't like me. He hates me. Anyways, yeah, he's a jackass. But anyways, up there in Bonner County right now, there's a guy fighting with the feds, and Wheeler's going to get involved, and I hope Wheeler kicks the feds out of the county. So, you know, there's a lot going on, but one of the reasons why I haven't gotten involved in what I was saying before is because if I go do what Rob does, if I go do what Matt does, I'll end up beating everybody up. I get pissed off, and I can't deal with it, you know. I'm to the point now, when Caleb was just up here talking about getting aggressive, I've been waiting for Caleb to talk like that. Because that's what we have to do. We can't just sit here and talk anymore. How well did it work for our forefathers? It didn't work very long, right? I mean, it's horrible what's going on. I've got so much in my head, I could spend 2 hours up here talking to you. I woke up in 2008. I've read forever. I finally quit reading because it was all the same stuff, and I still read stuff that I don't know, but you know, the Federal Reserve isn't federal. They have no reserves. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go get the book. It's called The Creature from Jekyll Island. Read it. It'll change your life, okay? It changed my life. This money in my pocket is not my money. It's somebody else's debt. It's garbage. It's gotten harder for me to even work. I mean, I love making money. I made $150,000 a month. I made a lot of money. But it doesn't do anything for me anymore because I know what it is. It's garbage, and it's hard for me to go back and work. I don't know really what I'm going to do. I moved to Idaho to get away from Washington. I sold all my properties. I left. I wish I would have waited. I probably could have made an extra $1 million. But I moved to Idaho, and I'm going to tell you, in Idaho, and I don't want you to think that I was running away. It's just I don't know how to deal with it because I'll end up in jail. Okay, so I moved to Idaho. The cops over there are wonderful. Not once when I get pulled over, they ask me where I'm going, because the cops would always ask me where I'm going here. The first thing I said to them was, it's none of your effing business.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I'm in trouble, right? You know, I've pulled the sovereign man on them before. I've done that. That doesn't really get you anywhere. Trust me, I've tried. But the cops over there, I've been pulled over twice for speeding. Hey, just slow it down. No problem. Thanks, man.
Right.
They don't ask me where I'm going. They don't mess with me. They're great guys. They don't walk up to my car like I'm a criminal. The school system's over there. My son goes to Post Falls High School. He doesn't have to wear a mask, ever. In fact, last year, when they wanted him to wear a mask, I called the school, said, hey, we don't wear masks. We don't play this game. The school says, well, do you want to exempt him? I'm like, yeah. Do I have to come down and sign any paperwork? They said, no, just tell us that you want to exempt him. I'm like, great. He's not wearing a mask. Never wore a mask. He's the only kid in the school not wearing a mask. So it's a different world over there. If you really want to get away, and I'm not saying to run from the problems, but it's so different over there. But it's going to end up there, just like it is here. It's going to end up everywhere. And I really don't know how to fix it. I do believe in local level, fixing it at a local level. But again, I don't know. And everything that's going on right now it's all satanic. Okay, the very higher ups, you hear about these. What's really weird right now, I'm going to get into some conspiracy stuff. I hope I don't lose anybody here because I read a lot. But Have any of you ever heard of, I'm sure you've heard of Q, right? We've heard of Q. Okay. Now, I don't really get into Q a lot, but I have friends that do. And there's a lot of strange things that are going on that are matching up with what Q's doing. Now, I'm just telling you what I'm hearing. I don't believe this. I don't know what to believe anymore. But some people say that Trump is still president, okay? And all this right now that's going on is a show, and they're trying to wake people up. I don't know if that's true. I have no clue. I don't know what the truth is anymore. You know, you guys talk about the cartons sitting on the ships on the shore, right? Okay. Have you ever heard of Club K? Any of you? What that is supposedly the deep state has missiles in the shipping containers, okay?
I've heard, yeah.
Okay, you've heard of this? Now, I don't know, again, please, don't think I'm a wacko. I don't know if it's true, I'm just telling you what I read. Now, they're saying the reason why some of these cartons aren't getting in so quick is because the military's checking them slowly. Checking every one of them, okay? Again, I don't know what's going on. So, I mean, as far as the money system goes, okay, you guys all heard of quantitative easing, right? We all know what that was when they created dollars, okay? The Fed will come up with fancy names for what they do with money, okay? The new fancy name is reverse repo rate. Anybody ever heard of the reverse repos? They're contracting the money supply like crazy right now. They're burning dollars, okay? They're going to create another liquidity crisis, okay? My friend just went into the U.S. Bank in Seattle the other day. He wanted $1,700 for petty cash for his business. Not an abnormal request. U.S. Bank told him to make an appointment. They wouldn't give him the $1,700. They're creating a liquidity crisis. They're creating a shortage. They're doing all these things. And people have to wake up. Again, I could sit up here for hours and get even deeper with you, but I'm not gonna. It's crazy the stuff I read. I get my information on Telegram, okay? A lot of it. I haven't watched the media in 2 years. I turned it on about 2 weeks ago just to see what they were saying, right? They're scaring the shit out of people. They're scaring everybody. You wonder why people are scared. Go watch the news. And then people will go to the hospital. Here's one right here. If you don't know about this, there's a drug called remdesivir. Okay? If any of you ever heard of it, it's a CDC protocol drug that the hospitals are using. People are getting scared. Don't be afraid of getting sick. Okay? You'll get better. God gave us an immune system to fight getting sick. Okay? So what's happening is these people are going to the hospital. They're walking in the emergency room under their own power. 4 days later, they're dead. Isn't that weird? Because they're giving them remdesivir. And then you ask them, well, did their kidneys shut down? Did they have renal failure? Yeah, how'd you know? And then they put them on a vent, right? Yeah.
Tell them about the lieutenant governor.
And they die. And then the hospital gets $48,000 a body. Big money right now for that. You need to understand what's going on. It's very, very evil what's happening right now. So evil that most people cannot fathom it. It's disgusting. From the abortions, the child sacrifice, the pedophilia going on. What's really weird right now is they're still arresting pedophiles heavily. Okay? Now, why would they be doing that when Joe Biden's president? You think Joe Biden cares? He's part of the deep state. Makes you kind of wonder, doesn't it? What's going on? Is Trump really still president? I don't know. Why are they arresting these people? I just was on the phone today with the assistant to the lieutenant governor of Idaho. I love her. We have a governor in Idaho. His name is Brad Little. He's a rhino. I hate the guy. The lieutenant governor, if you're all not familiar, when he was in Texas or wherever he was at, she did a bunch of executive orders. He came back and rescinded all of them. They don't get along. There was a gentleman that died that was involved in her staff. I forget his name. I think his name was Pete Clausen. He came down with COVID. He got scared, went to the hospital, and again, remdesivir, okay? He died, renal failure, vent, dead. I talked to the assistant today about that because I left the message a week ago, and the first thing he asked me was, what do you know about this? I'm like, you guys don't know what's going on? I mean, little old me knows and you don't. You guys need to do some research. So they're starting to understand and see what's going on. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say, guys. But I mean, like I said, everybody needs to wake up. And those of you that don't understand some of the things I'm saying, you need to go read. You need to get deeper, okay? You need to go consult with your nearest conspiracy theorist, okay? All right, because they'll tell you what's going on. I mean, it gets crazy all the way from chemtrails. You want to talk about crazy? Let's talk about chemtrails. I mean, how deep do you want to go? Anyways, that's all I have to say. I hope I was entertaining. But
It was very entertaining.
Thanks, Doug. Thank you for getting up and talking because Doug's a wealth of information. Doug's the guy that's been bringing all these trucks and stuff from Canada that were coming down here to dish and dodge and stuff. And I mean, bringing us really, providing quite a service for the area, really, because we do sell a lot of trucks in this area. I mean, four-wheel drives. God,
They're actually out of Seattle.
they're now because of some other bullshit we'll talk about.
That's another story.
That's a whole other story. Once again, anyway. Once again, the heavy foot of Big Brother. But that's another long story, but it's a Big Brother story.
Kip Hill.
Right.
Spokane.
Right.
He's a great guy.
There's some really great guys around here, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's some great guys around here. But anyway, folks, I don't know. I mean, start thinking about it if you want to. Oh, Rob.
Yeah, I just got an announcement. Robin's too shy to say that, but I got a lot.
Rob's not afraid to talk
Valley
about it.
Assembly, Sunday at 5:30, all the candidates, city council, school board, are going to be there.
Town hall meeting
Yeah. Where?
Valley Assembly.
Sullivan.
in Broadway. The doors open at 5:30, the meeting starts at 6, and it'll be a town hall, and there'll be snacks.
Snacks?
It's going to be Sunday the 17th. All the Valley.
Yes.
Yeah. Valley Assembly.
What did you think?
And don't forget Northwest Grassroots tomorrow at like 6:30, I think. And 6, okay, I come late.
You do.
How do you find out about their meeting?
Whereabouts is your meeting?
Talk to John and Cecily back in radio there.
Where?
Morondos. I'm going to give it to Cecily now.
Hey, somebody gave it to
Okay,
Cecily.
and then I want to get Matt Dean. I want you to know this tonight too.
And also, Carrie Ann Hall, who's an attorney that fights for the she will be at Valley Assembly on November 20th from 3 to 6.
That's one you need to write down. The lady is, Chris Ann Hall in November what? November 20th, but that is definitely something do not miss. If she was 55,000 miles away, go. I mean, it's right here. She's an attorney and she's going to tell you how to stay out of trouble with some of this stuff that you keep being told. So, what I will say, Northwest Grassroots does meet tomorrow, 6 o'clock at Morondo's, which is Bowdish and Sprague. And we sort of chiseled down our mailing list during this COVID time because we continued to meet in person. Morondo's is another restaurant that stayed open through all this and the whole thing.
Where's that at?
Morondo's is Bowdish and Sprague. What I wanted to say is to get back to the very beginning of this meeting. And what Brian told you is that he no longer wants to facilitate as the leader of this JBS group. JBS is a good organization. I know that Gina mentioned that she had just paid her membership and now was going. The information you get from JBS with the newspaper and the magazine is invaluable. And you hang on to those magazines because you can go back and research and look at stuff. I've used a tremendous amount of their information when I do whole segments on like the, what the National Forestry Service does as far as our shutdowns and our protests and things that way. They're invaluable. So continue to pay your membership. Now, I know, you're disappointed, but this is a good group, and what you need is a new leader, a new facilitator. But I'm going to tell you one of the most discouraging things when you're a leader or a facilitator is if everybody sits out there in the audience and doesn't participate. JBS does the meeting for you. You have a newspaper. How often do you get your newspaper? Once a month. How often do you meet? Once a month. So any one of you in this room can get up here and be the facilitator. And then you can say, Steve, and you've talked to Steve beforehand, so you aren't springing it on him, and you say, would you talk about the article of XYZ that you studied this month in the newspaper? And then Steve will come up and share that part. And then you're going to say to someone else about another part of the paper. And you guys are going to use your JBS newspaper to run your meetings for you. You don't need to just be blabbing on about all these other things that are out there and we all know about. You need to follow what's in there. This is a JBS meeting. And if you want to go to other meetings and learn stuff, that's great. But if you want to have this meeting be a JBS meeting, and you need to be participating and helping, because it is not fun. And Brian will tell you, it's no darn fun to stand up there and not have help. So if you want to have a good, vibrant group, have someone step up next month, but organize it enough so that you've got the newspapers here. How many of you have your newspapers with you tonight? The bulletin. Hold them up.
Awesome.
1, 2,
Awesome.
3. This is a JBS meeting, guys. Every one of you should have it here. Now, come on. Yeah. Let's get serious. It's hats off to Caleb for getting 5,000 people of Spokane people out. I got to tell you that it's Rob, with the messages he gets. You've got as many people thinking the way we do as the people that are thinking the opposite. So it's a crazy, crazy world out there, and you've got to participate. Don't be a spectator.
Valley Assembly started a course on Sunday. We meet 4 to 6 every Sunday afternoon at Valley Assembly in the back, and they just started a fantastic Bill of Rights course, and you could get it online at JBS. So they're just a great resource in so many ways.
Thanks. The Freedom Project Academy is going to start a new, if you want to take your kids out of public schools and get them out of that entirely, there's going to be a new Freedom Project Academy. I believe it's going to be in the East Point Church, which is, remember the old Kmart building down there. So I heard that's going to happen soon. So if we do have other options too for your kids and stuff, I really don't want to talk about the JBS thing anymore because that's really, it's been talked about too much. So there's different things we need to do. Prep for the future, folks. Stay active. Local's where we're going to really have some control. Okay. Locals where we're really going to have some control. I mean, I can beat the drum and try to do whatever I can. I can get a hold of Kathy Morris Rogers' assistant at her Spokane office, and I can call him by his first name, and I can try to do whatever, but I really don't think it's going to have a lot of effect on Kathy. You know, I think that she, you know, maybe there's a video out there that she does, it's out there that someone has control of, that has control over her. Maybe there's some type of inside deal that someone has control of. I don't know, but I mean, she's not very responsive. Okay, I mean, we even see by Caleb, which we were talking earlier, which I wanted to talk about earlier. We actually, you know, wonderful thing about the whole Freedom Index, right? The Freedom Index for JBS, they've got a listing of 10 different events. I mean, for you that don't know what it is, they've got a listing of 10 different things that they vote on, and they kind of grade these people by those votes, right? Okay, where does Kathy usually end up? Well, Kathy's usually
wherever the lobbyists pay the most.
Yeah. You know, John shared this thing about, what, 2-3 years ago, this book?
13.
This book?
2013.
2013, wow. We've known each other longer than I thought. 2013, John shared this book with me about back when Kathy Rogers was, of course, she still had her Energy Commission position, right? So she's like number 3 ranking Republican, right, in the House. Okay, so she's got a high position. I mean, she's really something, really. But anyway, Boehner was the Speaker of the House, and basically for the TPP, you guys remember what the TPP was, right? Okay, TPP, they were voting on TPP. And, no, TPA, they were voting on the TPA.
Trans-Pacific Partnership.
Yeah. So they were voting on the TPA. This particular one was the vote for that. They lined up so the RNC lines up 200. I mean, this is a rah. We're Republicans, right? So the Republican Party at the national level lines up $220 million. And they tell the lobbyist group, okay, we've got $220 million. Yeah, I think we can buy off everyone here. And of course, you know, so like Boehner was Speaker of the House, and he got like, what, was it $680 or something like $1,000? But he had to kick back like 450 of it.
Can I tell the story?
So I'd love you to, because I know you really know this.
Well, I do.
I know you do. Hang on.
I do know this story because it blows me away that over all these years nobody's really got the drift of it. This comes from Peter Schweitzer's book called
Extortion.
Extortion, 2013. And what he explained at that time, and right after this, Stars on what's that TV channel that I'm subscribed to that has Stars on it. But anyway, they did a 5-part series on this, and it was about the swamp. And it was right after the 2010 election, 2013, when we got all those conservatives in the Congress, and they didn't know what to do because they got all these chair positions and all these committee positions, and then they got the bill. They wanted to have the next year, they had to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to keep those seats, and they were stunned. So what the book was talking about was in the halls of Congress, there was a big banner up on the wall, and it was the cost of the committee seats. Kathy Rogers was the chair of the House Republican Conference. And so she was in the number 3 position behind Boehner. And her position cost $165,000 a year to pay for. She had to pay for that seat.
Right.
And that was about $25,000 more a year than she made as a salary. So where the hell's the money come from?
Right.
Right? I mean, it's pretty simple. And so what he explains in the book, page after page, is all the lobbyists, all their connections to what corporations, to how much money per corporation is going to pay for a yes vote and how much for a no vote. And so for TPA, which we went down to her office and about 80 people had flooded that building and insisted she don't vote for it. Well, if she voted no, she would have made $17,000. Hello? But she voted for it. She made $193,000. And that's it.
And saying made.
Well, I don't call it business. I call it treason. I mean, it really is. I'm so sick of these people who say that they're representing us, and all they're representing are the corporations
that the lobbyists are promoting to move forward a globalist agenda. And we need to really understand that that's the story. It's not about scratch my back and, you know, we'll wait on lithium batteries till later. It's really all about the whole big picture. And these people need to be sprung up in front of a wall.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean that she's putting 193 in her pocket.
Yeah, no, it went to the Republican conference, so they use those to make sure that they get new rhinos elected and to work against us.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get a point. The point I wanted to get across is that these guys are up. So the RNC is lining up and, you know, rah, 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 Republican Party, shish, bob, you know. I mean, I'm a Republican PCO, right?
No.
And I'm doing it because...
I gave it up for Lent.
I gave it up for Lent. I'm doing it because I want to keep Ozzy from trying to seat someone worse in my position, right? I'm trying to keep the progressive out of my neighborhood, call themselves rhinos, or call themselves Republicans. So, I mean, and that's how you know, that's on a local level, this is other stuff we need to look at, right? This is other stuff. We have local evil. I mean, evil. I can show you text messages that this guy sent me that's just pure evil. After Scott McClay died, and that night that he won the election, the text message that he sent me, murder. Well, we won't get into that here. But the text message, the Facebook message he sent me, oh my God, what a horrific person this guy is. You know, and this is local. This is local level. Okay, so JBS doesn't focus on this. Okay. Hi, Ozzy. You know, he's recording this. He's only recording this for Tony. Tony Galtiani is our chapter secretary. He and Terry are wonderful people. Tony, please pray for Tony. Okay, Tony got COVID. He got it so bad, and he started a new position. He's working for a big builder now, and this builder's building all these different. He's like lighting up the logistics on getting materials sent to all these different job sites and stuff. And it's a different job for him. He's 58 years old, and he's my age, right?
That's ancient.
It's not as ancient as you, but you look my age, which really pisses me off.
Well, that's because you don't...
Yeah, that's because I lived a hard life. I know. I haven't been great to myself. Okay?
You look
I don't
like
really
a
agree with
yourself.
But so anyway, you know, it's just like
Tony had a new job.
Oh, yeah,
and he didn't
new
want
job.
to,
Yeah,
and he kept working. Tony got a new job.
Got a new job.
Oh, Tony got a new job. So Tony right now, Tony's been in the hospital for the last week because he let his health get so bad. Even though he knew he had people around, like I told him, I've got HCQ and I've got ivermectin. I've got that I can get to take care of you if that's what you need. That's what, you know, if you want it. And so if anyone here, if you start getting ill or whatever, shit, get a hold of me, okay? Because I've got this stuff sitting around. I have it at my I've got it. I can get to it. I can get it to you. I don't care if I got to break into a fucking hospital. I don't care if I have to break into a hospital. I've done that before.
We got prescriptions in 24 hours filled at Airway Heights and covered by our insurance.
Oh, I knew you. Okay, Jill. I knew Jill would know about this. Okay, and that's another thing. We got wonderful resources within this group, folks. We got wonderful people within this group. We have to reach out to each other. Okay, reach out to these people that are at this meeting. Reach out to Jill. Get involved with that group. You know, Steve can tell you about how that group has been beneficial for him and his family with their trucks. You know, go to Northwest Grassroots. My God, this woman prepares for a meeting of like, I mean, okay, talk about being a leader or whatever. Okay, I never looked at myself as being a leader out here. I just thought I'm just a guy standing up here and trying my best to try to make things happen. You know who I use for my example here? I use Cecily. My God, that woman prepares for a meeting unlike anyone I've ever seen. and she gives you so damn much information when you're there. It's like, and it's just spelled out in such common sense terminology, even though she's so damn articulate. You know, so attend these meetings, because at a local level, this is meat and potatoes that you're not going to get here at the local level, because JBS just doesn't focus on the local level. We're not supposed to. Even though it kind of says we're supposed to in the bulletin, but we're not supposed to.
Only place you can really impact is local.
So, I mean, maybe the next guy could do that. I don't know. If the next guy gets along better with Mike Ulrich, maybe he can say, I don't know.
So you inspired me, Brian. I actually emailed Stacy Cinema this week.
I emailed Mrs. Cinema, and I thanked her for holding strong, okay? And then I'd like to email Mitch McConnell and say, what the hell?
Right.
What else?
These are all, hey, okay, bye, Dean.
Okay, we need to
go. Love you guys. Love you guys, and see you around. I don't know if are you guys still gonna be meeting here Thursdays and stuff? Okay, I mean, maybe we'll see what happens here. I hope someone takes over and keeps the meeting here, because these people really deserve our support.
Brian, I need to get you an amp.
You need to get me what?
Get you an amplifier.
Why?
We need to put the amplifier in your car. We need to go.
Oh, okay, guys, okay. Okay, well, folks, oh, yeah, JC, please. And then JC's gonna end up the meeting. You're gonna close it. I'm out of here, guys. It's been fun, you know. Oh,
I just have one question.
Yeah.
People, I hear the word sovereign going around a lot, and people have a different definition of it.
Yeah.
And I've also heard that we're all sovereigns. Under the Constitution, all of us are sovereigns.
That's correct.
We are the people.
That's right.
And the judge, the prosecutor, the cops, all of them, right?
Dude, I agree with you so much, but if you try and use them, I mean,
I'm just trying
this
to figure
man
it
right
out.
here he can.
What's the definition of a sovereign?
This man's dealt with this more than any other one that I know.
So if you try to play the sovereign man, it won't work. Okay?
Not in court.
It'll work with some judges. See, you're not under contract with the state, the county, the city, anybody else, okay? You have the right to travel personally and travel in your own